G'day, AJ.
Hey Mo,
How are you, mate?
I'm doing good. I'm t- just we're doing this. We're doing good. We're
We're
doing
doing
this.
we're doing this and we're doing good.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm good too.
Oh yeah. Sorry. How are you doing, Mo?
Yeah, I'm
Sorry,
great.
listeners. How rude of me not to ask how Mo is doing. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm doing really well, thanks.
whoops.
And welcome to another episode of Songs on the Couch.
Sitting down, we're talking out. Breaking it down, talks on the couch. Music and minds will figure it out. Laughing and learning what it's all about. On the couch.
We've had a little break. This
hmm
happens. We have to, look, life, man. Far out.
I was about to say life happens outside of these four walls, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. There's a lot that goes on.
life's a
Um,
beach, and then you
look,
drown. That's what they say anyway. I don't
so
know.
they say. I don't, but I think there's a big process between like getting in the water and drowning, and I think I'm in that process.
Are you just kind of like
The
what do they?
flailing,
Yeah. What do they call that? When you're like
doggy
paddle,
paddling.
doggy paddling.
Is that the
Yeah,
one? Yeah, you're doggy
yeah, something
paddling.
like that.
Yeah, just trying to keep your head above
Waiting,
water.
waiting. Isn't it called
Wading,
waiting?
wading.
Waiting in the
Yeah,
water.
wading in
Yeah,
the water. Yeah,
yeah.
just trying to keep your head above it.
Mm.
That's what it is. Well, before we go into the tale of woe that is our lives, uh, should
They're
we?
not here. They're not here for that, surely.
We're not that interesting. But tell
We could be.
us.
We could be that interesting.
Yeah, we could be. Well, I might venture into some interesting territory
You know,
with
we're
this
never
song.
we're never going to survive unless we get a little bit crazy. Although we're not
Oh,
doing
no,
that
we're
song.
not doing that song. Tell me. What song are we bringing on over to the couch today, AJ?
We're bringing on over an second single from this artist from the 90s, Kiss from a Rose by Seal himself.
Oh, yeah, not crazy.
No.
Which might I add, my colleague, I've got a therapist colleague who is like, I will kill you if you analyze that song without me. So we might have to have a special guest
Oh,
on to do crazy so I can on
okay.
it's actually one of my work wives. Don't tell Sideline Sally.
Are you cheating
She,
on Sideline Sally with another person?
well, look, I could be.
God.
But Sideline Sally knows that my heart belongs to her. So
Yes. Yeah. This isn't a serious, I've got no feelings in this other person. This
I
is just a
know.
fling.
It's a fling. Yes, my heart belongs to Sideline Sally. But yes, anyway, so we will part crazy for another time. But today, right, Kiss from a Rose by Seal. Oh, we're back in 90s world, man.
Yep. I like how we're jumping from,
Decade,
90s, 80s, 70s, 2000s, 2010s.
decade to decade. No
Although the
decade
listeners,
is
the
safe.
next song is not chosen by me, so it will be a little bit more
Yeah.
recent.
Yes, it will. Yes, it was. Well, the artist was chosen by Sideline Sally. I chose
It
the
was.
song. But,
Yes.
you'll just have to wait to,
But also
to
in saying that, listeners, you know, Mo to over here who slandered Billy Joel, the listeners, they're the voices spoken. We looked at our
yeah.
stats and the listeners are loving Billy Joel's Pressure.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I know it's not about us. It's about you. It's about you guys, the listeners.
They've
So
got terrible taste. No, just kidding. No, look, listen, just because I don't really love the song doesn't mean that I don't appreciate its merits and its value and its contribution to, to popular music. So,
mm,
uh, just because it makes me feel some kind of uncomfortable and I want to distance myself from that feeling doesn't mean that it's a not a valid song. So,
True.
props to Billy Joel, amazing songwriter, and it's just not really my jam. Wouldn't put it on. Wouldn't consciously put it on my playlist.
Yeah,
But
right.
if I did happen to slip over to Gold 104.3, which easy listening,
They
latest.
might not play it. I don't think they'll play that song on. I don't think even Gold will play that song. I think if you Spotify, when you get to the end of the album on Spotify or YouTube Music, and then just starts playing random songs that are like similar, I think you'd probably get it more there.
That's where we're gonna get it, is the
Yeah,
random end of playlist
yeah,
algorithm
yeah.
songs. I don't know. Listen, it wasn't, but 10 years ago that Gold 104.3 was playing Cheryl Moana Marie by Engelbert Humperdinck. So
True. This is true. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think Billy Joel might get a spin on there, but
Probably Piano
anyway,
Man, if anything.
yeah, probably the bigger hits and
Or you may
Uptown
be right.
Girl.
Yeah, Uptown Girl.
And you may be right. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, those ones. Anyway, we're not here for Billy.
No, back to Seal.
Billy's ancient history.
Yeah. Now,
Uh,
off air though, you were saying that you weren't, insert pun, crazy about Kiss from a Rose, and you say we'll talk about it on air. Now I need to know why are you not crazy about this song now?
why am I not crazy about Seals? I am crazy about Seals' song Crazy, but I'm not crazy
It is a good
about.
song.
It's a great song. Well, I don't know. I mean, of course they're of the same era. Like I'm really not sure when Crazy.
91 Crazy came out. 95,
Okay.
Kiss from a Rose came out.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot happened in my young life actually. So when you mentioned Kiss from a Rose, it was of an era. You know how like smell can have memory? It can conjure up, trigger memories.
When you walk into an op shop and then you're automatically taken back to like grandma's house.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, this smells like grandma's house.
there's a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kiss from a Rose is my op shop triggering grandma's house smell.
Okay. Yeah.
It's my,
Yeah.
you know, 1995 was a bit of an era for me. And it was, there was a lot that went on in 1995. And I think I was a bit hashtag triggered. I was a bit activated thinking about this song because it was kind of the soundtrack of some shit that went down in my life. And, well, I mean, it wasn't, I wasn't like,
I was gonna say you weren't going like murder sprees with this song playing in the background, like as
no,
your Mozart, as you're like gunning down like hordes of people.
no,
No, not that kind of
not,
traumatic.
not that kind of
Ba ya
traumatic
ya
stuff.
ya.
Yeah, no, no. There were no machine guns or people or animals harmed in the making of 1995 for Mo.
Yeah.
But but it was a time in my life, and I was at uni. I'd been living out of home for a little while. Mind you, I was yeah, like sort of turning 20. Um, I think just really going through it. And I just think it triggered something in me of that time that I haven't really, I've probably processed, but it's never nice looking back on stuff in your life that you are either, I don't know, not proud of, or you feel was like, a bit risky or shaky, or it just, or embarrassing. And things like that were happening in this era of my life. And so when I think of that song, I am taken back there, and my present self can like really rationalize what went on, and think rationally about it, think
Drink
logically.
rationally. Drink
Drink
rationally.
drink rationally. I know, how's that for a Freudian slip?
Everything
No,
that's going on, drink rationally.
I didn't drink my way through the 90s, actually, surprisingly, because I was a young adult, but I've never really been a drinker.
Yep.
And Anyway, so yes, I was just hashtag triggered. That's all I'm trying to say. By Seal and Kiss from a Rose.
Okay.
And I also didn't love Batman Forever, the movie that it came from. I know, right? I'm not a Val Kilmer fan, or I mean, no disrespect, Val, or Nicole Kidman fan. I no disrespect. I think they're amazing actors, but they're just like, I don't know. Look at me. I'm really coming across as very picky and fussy, aren't I? Far out. Who is this woman?
Because my side of it is the complete opposite.
You love it, but maybe I don't love it because it was a time in my life that was very emotionally tumultuous, and these
Yeah.
actors and this song are
Yeah.
kind of attached to that time in my life, and so maybe that's why I've never really like leaned into Val Kilmer or Nicole Kidman
Yeah.
or Jim Carrey or whoever else was in that movie.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. So I don't know. I think it's a me problem, and I think uh, yeah, just wanted to give some context about what was going on for me, and when you sort of said we'll do this song, I was like, yeah, yeah, ba ba, ba yeah
Yeah.
yeah 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 yeah, it's like. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's catchy, yeah. And then when I listened to it, I was like, "Oh, whoa, I'm back in
Yeah.
1995."
Mm.
And it was hard. Uh, but then I had another thought. I was like, "Is that oboe? Wow. I
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
it is." When I was listening to it, I was like, "I didn't realize there was oboe in this song." It uses oboe. But I'm gonna keep talking about the oboe. I tell you who uses oboe, not just Seal, but maybe we'll do one of these songs a little later on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I'm just like taking over here, but I'm
No,
going
no,
to
no,
keep
no.
going.
Go
But
for it.
just an interesting tidbit because I love interesting tidbits.
We love our interesting tidbits, yes.
I think, if I remember rightly, happy to go into correction corner on this one,
Mm-mm.
but I
Mm.
think that Ivor Davies from Icehouse, which is an Australian band
Mhm.
that was pretty legendary in the 70s and
Yeah.
80s,
Yeah.
is a classically trained oboe player.
Oh, okay. I
You
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that.
Didn't know
Listen,
that.
we'll do some fact checking, but but the oboe as an instrument in popular music just really I just was like back in 95 and then
Yeah.
back in the present going, "Holy dooly, is that a bloody oboe?"
Yeah. There you go. Well, I just looked up all the instruments that were used on the song, and yes, we can confirm oboe, clarinets, flutes were used in "Kiss from a Rose."
Wow, all the classic
All the classic
woodwind. Is
French
it
horns, brass, strings, timpani. Yeah.
is a flute? What is a flute? Is that
But
woodwind?
no, well, no, a
Is
flute.
it?
A flute is not a woodwind instrument because it's not made of wood. It's a
What is it?
it falls under the brass instruments, although it's made from silver.
Oh, okay.
But it falls under the brass, like yeah,
Get down with your bad self, flute.
yeah.
Another interesting tidbit that
Yeah.
Lizzo is a flute player. You know Lizzo?
Oh
Good
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah,
hell?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And another interesting tidbit,
Oh,
name's Melissa. S- anyway,
okay, sure.
I'm just full of them
Just
today.
because, just because.
Just because nothing to do with Seal and
No,
everything to do, well, maybe there's a connection there. There's like 6 degrees of separation with the instruments, okay?
there is.
Because Kiss from a Rose has got all of the juicy brass and woodwind instruments and a bloody oboe.
And that oboe. Yep.
Who would have thought?
Which is just a bass clarinet, really. It's just a big version of a clarinet that's yeah.
Is it? But it's
Hmm.
got that funny little reed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a
It's that
yeah.
funny little. Apologies to Ivor Davies and all the oboe
Oboe.
players. The
I hope we're
oboe
not
players.
offending the oboe community. Oh my gosh. We'll be in trouble there. They're
All
coming after us,
s-
Mo.
All 7 of them.
You never know. Hey,
No,
I didn't know Ivor Davies played oboe, so
I'm gonna have to fact check that one. I'll
My
have to
favorite
fact
my
check.
favorite Ice House song is No Promises. That is just a masterpiece
Yeah,
of a song.
it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
what or Great Southern Land, that was an Ice House song, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that is like iconic Australian
History weaved in a song.
music history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
looking it up.
Australian history weaved
Is it
into us. Yeah.
weaved into us?
Yes.
Well, he's a multi-instrumentalist, Ivor Davies. Is he an oboe player? Oh, maybe it's euphonium. Oh no, he went on to be an oboe player. There you have it.
There
I
you
don't.
go.
I don't even know what a euphonium is.
And I'm the musician, and I should know that, but
I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to Google
euphonium.
images it. I mean, I keep forgetting this is a podcast and people can't
People
see
can't
us
see.
and
No,
see the
no.
screen.
Well, even if they're watching us, they can't see what you're looking at on a screen.
No, they
No,
cannot. I just
no.
have to keep reminding myself. So, if anybody wants to know what a euphonium is, you could
Google it.
Google images that. Yep,
Yeah,
that's correct. And I'll
yeah.
be doing that a little later on.
And maybe
Anyway,
ask Siri or Google to, because I don't know how to spell it. And, I just say, hey, Siri, what's a euphonist? And,
euphonium.
say, well, maybe the person that plays it
Oh,
is a euphonist,
so what's an oboe player?
an oboist.
Okay. What's a
I don't
French
know.
horn player? A French horner? I don't know.
A French hornist. I don't- hey, we're opening a can of worms that we cannot that we cannot
We can't
contain.
contain. No, we
cannot
cannot.
contain. No.
No. At least we know what someone who plays the drums is. That's a drummer. Did your Siri just go off?
Yeah, because I asked. Yeah, because I said, "Hey, what's a?"
Yeah.
But obviously it didn't pick that up. And then when I said no, it repeated back to me something about no.
Oh,
Just go to sleep, Siri. Go to sleep.
holy dooly. Okay.
They're listening. It's all. Anyway.
There, that's all right. Yeah. So 1995, Kiss from a Rose
Back to
by
95.
Seal from Batman Forever. What else was going on? Tell me about this
Well,
song.
I need to put some positive light on this because
Please do.
now that you're like my smell of thought is like when I listen to that song is Batman Forever, because that's where the single came from, and that's what made the song rose to fame. I was 10 years old and I was like I saw the other Batmans with Michael Keaton. Is it Michael Keaton?
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Yeah,
Michael
I
Keaton.
think so.
And
Yeah.
I love those Batmans, but I think I was still a bit too young to so when Batman
Yeah.
Forever came out and I was just like, this is like awesome, love it. It's my favorite, and I'm gonna be objectful here, but that's my favorite Batman movie. I don't know, just something about it had that 90s nostalgia that when I watch it and when it takes me back to the 90s,
Yeah.
and listening to that song takes me back to watching that movie, and the songs. The other cool song on there is U2's song.
Yes. The Kiss Me, Thrill Me.
Thrill Me, Kill Me, Love Me,
Kill Me.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Dun, 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 dun. That's such a cool song.
Yes, it's a driving song. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's why I was like, oh, like
That's
90s
and
nostalgia for me.
and that's the difference between you still being in primary school and me being a young adult
An adult
at the time,
showing our age, isn't it?
showing our age difference. And that takes you back to an innocent time. It takes me back to a
Not so
really
innocent time.
not so innocent time, a coming of age time. What do they call it in literature? I think it's called a Bildungsroman, which is a coming of age story where you like learn some shit out about the world and your eyes are open and you can't unsee it. And this was on the edge of sort of grunge kind of, like Kurt Cobain had died in maybe 94.
Yeah. Like grunge was coming out and like pop music was
Pop and R&B was coming back in, right?
coming back in. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's get into our interesting tidbits.
Let's go.
So this song was actually written by Seal back in 1987.
Stop it.
Yeah, before he even released, like he wrote it back in 1987. He thought it was too weird and almost never shared it. But then obviously finally released it in 1994 on his second album, Seal 2, which he wasn't still going to release, but his producer, Trevor Horn, who, if you don't know who Trevor Horn is, he's a very major producer, but originally was, if you know, the video Killed the Radio Star, that song, he was
Yeah.
he was the singer of the Buggles who brought out Video Killed the Radio Star.
That can often happen, can't it? Like,
Yeah,
this
one hit
sort of
wonders then
one
go off
hit
and
one, and one hit wonders go and become producers or working in the industry somehow, A&R
yeah,
people
yeah,
or, that sort of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, so
and he produced like heaps of people, like, and people he's like, like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, even so like all throughout the 80s and 90s. Yeah, he produced heaps of famous tracks and popular songs that you would like.
yeah.
Oh, I wonder who produced that. That guy that produced that one hit wonder video Killed the Radio Star. Oh my goodness, there you go.
There you go. And that took him right through the 90s because, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, what was their hit? Relax, don't do
Don't
it.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah, that was in the mid 80s.
80s.
And now
Yeah,
we're in 95
yeah,
or probably 94 or,
yeah.
when they were
94,
making.
95. Yeah,
Yeah, and we are Seal's Kiss from a Rose. So Seal has showed this producer,
yeah.
this
Trevor Horn.
track,
Yeah,
Trevor Horn,
and he went,
and
"You need to put that on the record." And he was like, "Nah, it's too weird. I don't think so." And he's like, "No, we need to produce this song. We need to make it a hit." And they did.
they
And
did.
yeah. But it
And
didn't really make a big, so it came out prior to Batman Forever, but it didn't really make a splash until it was featured in the movie.
it got on the
And then,
soundtrack.
and then it was everywhere. Like it became #1 in Billboard's Hottest 100. It earned him 3 Grammys. It got Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Male Vocal Performance of the Year. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Go Seal.
yeah. It's a really, and the song is not traditionally a pop song.
Well, no, hence the
uh,
oboe.
It's the oboe. Like it's got a cappella, it's got classical music, but it's also not in your standard time signature of
Tell
like
me,
4
tell me
4 4.
drum chucks.
Oh, now.
Okay, tell me about the time signature.
So our traditional song is like what we call 4 on the floor. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you have four beats per bar over 4 bars. This song is actually a waltz song. So waltz is in 3/4, so it's like a swing song. So that's where you have 3 beats per bar over 4 bars. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
It's
1,
a
2, 3.
waltz.
Yes, it's a waltz. Ba ya ya ba da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's an amazing
No wonder
song.
there's oboe in there.
No wonder, because it's actually a classical. It's a very classical, traditional
Time signature.
waltz. Yeah, waltz. Well, it's not your modern pop song of the 90s. It's a very waltz, like big. It was almost like big band.
Old fashioned.
old fashioned 50s. Waltz, big band, orchestral type
Yeah.
music. Mm.
Right. Well, there you have it. So very non-traditional.
Yeah, and even the vocals are very operatic. It's got that very operatic feel to it. It's because of the layered vocals and the high. When he goes to those really high pitched notes,
Yeah.
I know you have a stigma to it. It's attached to it, but when you break it down, it's a really well thought out track.
No stigma. The stigma is related to me and my
I know.
life. It's not related to the song.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
personal stigma.
It's my personal. It's my shit.
Yeah.
I think we're all carrying some. I think we've
We are.
all got a soundtrack to a time where there was some shit went down.
There was.
And this, happens to be one of those times for me and
Mm.
one of those songs. But anyway, right. So, further interesting tidbits.
So
Do go on.
I'm gonna go back to Crazy.
Oh,
So,
don't, because my other work wife, she
oh,
might
well,
come out swinging.
it's a small interesting tidbit about so Kiss from a Rose is not Seal's first single to be featured with Batman. They actually used Crazy, his single Crazy, on Batman Forever. So the one prior with Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito as the Penguin. So uh, uh, I'm trying to think of the director. What's his name? He just does Wednesday. He does Edward Scissorhands.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yeah, so Tim Burton's Batman. Um,
Oh.
they used Crazy as not as a soundtrack or anything, but as promotional stuff. So when they were like playing it on ads and stuff, they used his single Crazy for promotional material. But it wasn't officially like on the album soundtrack or anything.
Wow. So Seal got a little bit of a leg up.
It did, yeah.
Prior to this Batman.
Mhm.
Which is, yeah. What was the other one? No, this is Batman Forever.
Batman.
Okay.
So we had
Well,
Batman 1. Well, it was just called Batman. Then Batman Forever. Batman Returns,
Returns.
and then Batman Forever, and
Forever.
then Batman and Robin, which was we don't talk about that. And then-
Okay.
George Clooney with bat nipples, on his suit. We don't talk about
We don't-
Arnold
okay.
Schwarzenegger. We don't talk about that. And then you've got the Christian Bale Batman series, which just changed it all again.
Right. And it's actually really interesting. I mean, no. Well, we'll get into the interesting. Well, after the interesting tidbits, we'll just sort of talk about Batman as a character
Yeah.
and kind of the psychology that sort of relates through Kiss from a Rose. But anyway, more interesting tidbits. Go on. What else you got for me?
Well, I was going to say, it's funny that you said that because Seal, obviously, he wrote the song prior to Batman. So it was never actually, despite being a romantic tones, he actually didn't write it for Batman or for any specific person. It was just a personal piece that he was just kept hidden from everyone until someone else told him, no, you need to bring this song to the world. So the song's really, it's not about and I tried to look up the song meanings and there's not much. Seal is very cryptic with this song. He was pretty much like, it's your own interpretation to figure out. And then if that's what you think it is, then that's what it is.
And figure it out, we will.
We will. I'm like, oh, no, that doesn't help me, Seal, for my podcast. I need to know the real what this song is about. Is like, I think it's a bit of a love song. It could be interpreted as a love song. It could be interpreted as this or as an addiction. I'm like, no, I need to know the real thing.
We need to know what you were thinking of, Seal, when you wrote this. But
He wasn't thinking of anything. He was just mashing words together that worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, it's got universal themes, right? Universal themes of love and longing.
Yeah. Beauty,
which are
bleakness.
yeah, all that stuff. I mean, should we get in it or should we keep
think we
talking
should.
about the 90s? I mean, I could talk about the 90s all day.
Well, yeah. Well, no, you wanted to talk about Batman, so let's
Well,
talk
I
about
did want
Batman
to talk
first.
about Batman. Yeah. Well, my sense of Batman is, and I might get shot down by. Was he a DC comic? No, but yeah,
Mhm.
okay. I might get shot down by the Batman,
DC world.
hardcore, yeah,
Mhm.
DC hardcore people. But from my understanding of Batman, and I think I don't know if the lens that I'm viewing Batman through is through my early to mid 90s lens, but Batman
Your Val
seems
Kilmer Batman lens, is that what you're
yeah,
looking at through?
I
Yeah.
think so. But I think it's kind of transposes across all of the Batmans is that Batman is a bit of a commitment phobe. Batman is a bit of has avoidant attachment. You know, we've spoken about avoidant attachment before, which is kind of the attachment that you develop when your caregivers are, you know, pretty inconsistent and neglectful. You're just like, ah, fuck it, I'll do it myself. So you just sort of end up thinking or having a transferring onto your, you know, significant others that, you know, that what you experienced in your early caregiving relationships will happen in your romantic relationships. So if you've had early caregivers who are really emotionally neglectful or who are a little bit inconsistent, maybe attacking, you anticipate that people won't be able to meet your needs, right? So Batman is kind of has developed this I'll do it myself. I don't need anyone kind of avoidant attachment. He's a real commitment phobe, sexually driven, easily seduced, but emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
Am I describing? Is this
100%. Well, his
what?
parents were shot dead in front of him when he was only a young child, you know. So
Okay, well, see,
and
I didn't know the backstory, but yeah, that's, I mean, even though I know, right? I know. See, this is a podcast, so everybody, I'll just describe AJ's face to you. It was a look of sheer disgust at me
how can you not?
that I did not know the
I
backstory
have to
of
pick up my
Batman.
jaw off the floor.
Right. So
Yeah.
even though his parents were shot dead in front of him, you
It's
know,
okay.
they abandoned him. Even if it was through
Well,
no
yeah.
fault of his own,
No,
they
that's right.
abandoned him. So he just anticipates that everything you love, you will lose.
Mm.
And so he ain't willing to get too close.
It's
So,
true. And that's why when Robin came, we're going in Batman world. When Robin came along, he was like, "Oh no, I'm not. You're like, I'm doing this alone, buddy. Like, you,
yeah.
I'm, yeah." That was, and even,
I don't
uh,
need no apprentice. I don't
I
need
don't
no
need no,
sidekick.
no. I do this all by
Yeah.
myself. And
Yeah.
even the Lego Batman movie that Lego brought out, they even play on that. They're like, Batman works alone. I don't deal with nobody. I don't need no one. You know, like,
There
and so
you
you're right,
go.
and it's so true. He is very like, it's portrayed. That's how he's portrayed. So you're not gonna hate. You're not gonna piss off the Batman loving community. You've hit it on the nail.
Have I? Look at me go.
Yeah,
I should be a therapist. What do you
yeah,
reckon?
yeah.
Should I give that a go?
Yeah,
Okay.
give it a small go.
I'll give it a go.
Give it a crack. See if it sticks.
I'll try.
Yeah,
You know, I'll just chuck, 14 years of training at it. Yeah,
that's
see
it.
how I go.
That's it.
Um,
Because
so,
in Batman Returns, so the Batman's love interest is Celine Kyle, which is Catwoman, which is obviously a villain. You know, so there's that. You could talk about. You know, there's that
we really could
wanting
because
wanting something that you can't have because they're not good for you. They're toxic, and
he's carefully selected someone who will be abandoning. He's
yeah.
unconsciously selected someone who is unavailable, just like every other caregiver. Yeah.
But in
Oh,
Batman Forever, he kind of has a love interest with a psychiatrist, who's Nicole Kidman's character, who's a psychiatrist that's trying to figure
Oh,
out
well, I
like,
did not know that,
yeah.
and I've got to tell you
And
that
her
is
name
just
is Dr.
what's
Chase Meridian.
Dr. Chase Meridian. It sounds like you
Yeah.
were engaging in some serious boundary violations and some ethical problems there,
Well,
and
she was interested in Batman's psychology.
uh-huh. Well, she should be reported to the board if she had a sexual relationship with him because that is a no-go zone.
Well, it almost happens until they get interrupted by the Riddler and Two-Face. So, you know, once again,
Stop it.
he's been foiled by the villains. That's t- close but no cigar scenario.
Honestly, you couldn't write it, could you? It's all psychological themes playing
It's
out.
smart.
It is smart. Yeah. So if we get to Kiss from a Rose, when Seal says there used to be a graying tower alone on the sea. Well, that's Batman.
No, yeah. Well, yes, but no.
Okay,
That's
tell
what, and I
me.
think,
Tell
well,
me.
everyone would think yes, that's why they used it in the movie, but no, it's got nothing to do with. But you would think that yes, that's to do with Batman, but like he said, no,
Okay.
it just got nothing to do with Batman. I don't know. I just made up these. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, well, but it perfectly kind of encapsulates what Batman is, right?
It
Because,
does.
Batman is that sort of lonely, or that lonely graying tower, alone on the
Yeah,
sea,
yeah. The
right? Just
brooding.
broody. Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, right? Lonely and broody kind of
Yes.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
depressed, not in a relationship and just depresso. So just identifying as like that sort of isolated fortress that no one can get to. Like, yeah, completely avoidant attachment vibes, like we said before. But comparing baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grey. Like, let's have a think about him moving from that isolated, grey tower on the sea, right? To like actually letting himself engage in some kind of relationship, but describing it as like a kiss from a rose on the grey. Like, is it a soft and a passionate kiss, or are you actually kind of like unintentionally impaling your lower lip on a thorn? Like, I don't
I always wondered, like, what,
know.
like, I've never purposely grabbed a rose and like put it up to my cheek or my lips to see what that felt like. Like, what?
Apparently it would be a soft kiss, right? Because rose petals are quite soft, but
Yeah.
by the
But
same
I
token,
wouldn't
what?
I wouldn't think that I'd get like a sensual feeling. I was like, oh, this
No,
rose, oh,
no.
you know.
Rose sort of symbolizes all things that are soft and pure
Yeah,
uh,
right.
yeah. But then, what if you got allergies, man? Like, it's- what if you got
This is true.
it's real dicey.
You know,
What
you could get terminally ill from a kiss from a rose. You know,
you
there
really
could
well
be a there could be a bee hidden in there, and as you put it on your cheek, the bee stings you, and then you're like allergic. You could be allergic to bees, and it's like, oh
anaphylaxis.
my goodness.
Right. Because it's fraught, right? Because if you've got avoidant attachment and you anticipate that everybody that you love is either unavailable to you or will leave you or abandon you or never be able to meet your needs. Oh, it's risky. It's risky, right? So
So you don't think this song's like a love song person? Because most people compare this to as a love song. Like it's played at weddings, and like it's another one put on the playlist at my wedding, and because it's a love song. So you're saying it's not a love song?
I reckon it is a love song.
It
I-
still is,
If we look at the surface level, right? If we
but
look
not
at
for
the
Batman. Not a love song for Batman.
not for Batman, I think not for some people too. I think if we look
Yeah.
at the surface level, it's like really saying, you know, I felt really lonely. I felt very much alone and dissatisfied before I found love. And finding love has awakened something in me. Of course, it does. Love is so full of all these good feelings. You're getting the dopamine high, you're getting some
It's like a drug. You get addicted to it. You just
Well,
want more and more and more and more.
that is true. And, you get lots of oxytocin and all those feel good feelings that we've talked about in past episodes, all those feel good neurotransmitters. But you're right, it can be like a drug. It can be a bit dangerous as well, which I think is I'll get into that a bit later. I had some ideas about how it could be a bit dangerous because you can lose your identity to love. You can get consumed by the other if you're not careful. But if we think about the addictive quality of love, you're right. It's full of the dopamine high. It's full of those feel good chemicals. You can get addicted to that. And sometimes in tumultuous relationships, you're craving for that. You're constantly chasing it. It's like addiction is wanting and needing in the absence of liking. That's what addiction is.
And and in
Sometimes.
I was going to say, and in Batman slash Bruce Wayne, he was willing to tell, you know, the woman that was in front of him, like, his identity, his true identity. I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, this woman's in front of me. I've got this connection. I'm ready to tell her who I really am, you know. But then obviously it doesn't happen because then something gets foiled. But it's
Well,
that.
everything does in a Batman movie, doesn't it?
That's right. You know, oh, what a convenience! The bad guys have just walked in as I'm about to
This-
tell someone who I really am.
It's a story arc as old as time.
But it's true. Like, you know, he's obviously fallen for someone and he's willing to
Mm.
give up his, you know,
Mhm.
his identity
Mhm. Mhm.
for someone that he's just met.
Right. And that's pretty risky. That's you allowing your um identity to be revealed, but you're giving up something to stay connected.
Well,
And I don't know that that's what love should be about, you know?
no. Well, look, we're all secretly Batman, and
Yeah.
some people are willing to put the
Yeah.
mask, you know, put the cape and the suit, you know, in the closet. And I was like, oh, this is my new life now. I'm ready to give up my Batman
Yeah.
persona. And then some are like, no,
Yeah.
I gotta keep the
Yeah. So I'm ready to create something new, is what you're saying, but it's kind of got
yeah,
to be a partnership
yeah, that's right.
rather than, uh, one person giving up something and one person taking
Oh,
everything,
mm.
So, yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, well, it's even though he didn't write it for Batman, it's very closely linked, isn't it?
Well, that's why Joel Schumacher, the director, went, I need this song for my movie because that's what it's all. This is what this movie's essentially about.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's really he's seen this female character as someone who's given him hope to kind of be reveal himself fully and be his full authentic self. But in doing that, what was the cost? What was
Yeah.
going to be the cost?
Well, the cost for the movie was that his home, and the Batcave all got destroyed because they figured out where he was, where he lives.
Right. Okay. There you go. And see, that ties in very nicely to one of the lyrics, which is the more I get of you, the stranger it feels. Now, he's not the kind of guy to have disclosed his location, right? I mean, that's what we've got the bat signal for. I don't know, what do we call that?
Yeah, the bat signal. Yeah, that's right.
Did I get that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Look at me go.
You're going to be a full. You're going to know everything about Batman by the end of this episode.
Yeah.
All the bat terminology, you know.
That's right. So the more I get to know you, the stranger it feels is what's happened to him because he is doing things that are a little bit outside of his character, right? Which, psychologically, if I don't know, do you want me to get into a bit of theory here? Do you want me to kind of, yeah. Okay. So it's
Absolutely.
really, okay.
That's. I'm sorry, but that's your
Uh,
job.
is that my job?
This
Okay.
is your job of the part of the podcast to
All
tell us
right.
the psychological side of things.
Okay.
Like,
All right. I better
you
show
know,
up for it then, eh?
I can only talk about Batman for so long, you know, and musical tidbits.
Right. Yeah, fair. All right. Okay. So, all right. Now, what was I saying before that? I was saying this, the really out of character part, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So, okay, we're going to talk a little bit about object relations theory right here, which, the core idea is that we internalize early caregivers, okay? So they're our objects, right? And then, we kind of project onto new relationships, internalize patterns from those caregivers, right? Now, I mean, okay, you've told me the story that his parents were shot in front of him and so I'm kind of getting the relational pattern or the sort of the most significant event of that relational pattern was like, you're here and then you're gone. You're here and then you've abandoned me, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of, seals he's the narrator of this story. He sort of seems to hold sort of what are we going to say? Like split objects, like they're two very distinct parts inside of him. You know, that you're here and then you're gone. So we've got the grey tower, right, which is like the internalized, lonely, unresponsive, abandoned child, right? So that's the caregiver is unresponsive, dead, right, gone, yeah. And then we've got, when they were here, I suppose, the rose or the kiss, which is the idealized object. Okay, so it's not really entirely real, but it's this like savior kind of, nurturing, intoxicating, enlivening, um, idealized, caregiver or
Yeah.
object, right? So
Yeah.
here we've got that a new lover is kind of going to be simultaneously a savior and an addiction, and it's kind of the struggle to integrate these two very disparate parts that you've learned from early caregivers. We have to kind of learn that, like, a partner isn't going to be entirely abandoning, but they're not going to be entirely perfect and idealized. They're still going to forget to put the bins out sometimes, They're still going to like buy you a shit birthday present even when you've dropped hints.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that stranger it feels, what's the line? Something about the stranger it feels. I better go back to the lyrics. What is it? The more I get to know you, the stranger it
It
feels.
feels.
Yeah. It's about, it's kind of awakened this idealized caregiver. And when we sit in a position of idealization, this is my take on things.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
sorry to all of the psychologists and therapists and psychotherapists and mental health social workers and licensed family and marriage counselors that are following along and going, "You've got it all wrong, Mo." But I'm just trying to show that, like, what's happened here because of this early developmental experience is that we're holding split objects, and that, Seal is saying in Kiss from a Rose, well, he's not really saying it, but he's showing us that he hasn't integrated that good and bad can exist at the same time. So it's a bit disorienting. He's either like lonely, listless, rudderless, distressed, depressed, or he's saved. Real relationships don't work like that. So this is kind of psychodynamically, we might sort of call this object splitting, that you're unable to reconcile that ordinary love looks like you know Sunday afternoons on the couch rather than the fantasy of total rescue.
Yeah.
So I suppose, like, yeah, you know Batman and Seal may have fallen into that idealization role, right? Which, I know is very boring, but as a therapist, what would our job be? I think the job would be to kind of help Batman realize that he doesn't have to reveal his whole self and idealize the other as a savior to be able to have a healthy relationship, and that he doesn't have to go it alone. Uh, he doesn't,
Well,
he
no.
doesn't have to be without love. He can find a happy medium somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
That's
And
that's
and that's why he gets a protege.
okay.
So it's not.
Say more. What do you mean?
So well, that's when why he gets Robin, because it's someone that he can train, almost like be like a father figure to, that he never really had, and trains Robin up to uh, be a legacy of Batman. Like, so if, well, Batman never retires, but he's got that, the legacy continues on.
Right, which is a very safe way of having a relationship, because in the power dynamic, you have more power, right? And then therefore you protect yourself from hurt. You can protect. Is our episode about Batman, or is it about Seal's Kiss from a Rose? I don't
No,
know. Where
I
did we
feel
go with
I feel
this?
I feel like we're psychoanalyzing Bruce Wayne slash Batman. But
Yeah,
that's that. Well, that's this is look. That's the movie slash and the character brought this song to number one. So I guess we can. We're talking about it. I guess.
and I suppose, the people that were creating the music for the film probably saw some,
Similarities.
similarities. It was kind of Batman adjacent,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
but this song is really, uh, I think it speaks to sort of thriving on intensity, not stability, and I think that's Batman's MO.
Yeah.
That's how he roll, you know?
Well, his whole mo is to get revenge on his parents' death, which is never
Okay.
fulfilled. No matter
No.
what he does, it's never fulfilled.
Okay. Right. So of course there is intensity rather than stability. He's got this unconscious drive to um enact revenge, right? But that's not going to bring him back, Bruce.
No,
That's just only going to cost you things. That's going to cost you emotional vulnerability. It's going to cost you the Batcave, man.
he's a billionaire, so he can afford it.
Yeah, okay, he can afford it, but still, I mean, that's a real.
Emotionally, but tech wise, he can afford it.
He can afford it, but it's still a waste of time and resources and money and energy, isn't it, to have to rebuild your empire? So this unconscious internal drive is, I think it's messing with him. So. What's the goal in therapy? What are we going to do with him? We're going to try and help
Well,
him. What are we going to
I'm
do?
I'm gonna stop you there because
Tell
if
me.
we're
Okay.
staying on the law of Batman forever,
Mhm.
a therapist tried to help him, which demised his whole scenario. So I don't think Batman slash Bruce Wayne should be with a therapist, or be therapied, or psychoanalyzed. Like, I think we should just leave him alone, because if he when he gets with a therapist, it screws him up even worse.
You see, I think that therapist was
Ulterior
needing,
motives, of course.
yeah, needing to do some of her own work so that she could stay boundaried and not violate those boundaries. She could stick to her ethical code, because if we do think about another psychological construct, it sounds like. Well, I mean, is seduction a psychological construct? It sounds like she had her own internal drives to dominate another that kind of presented as undominatable, if that is a word.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how this relates to Seal. Perhaps she's the one with the addiction, or perhaps she's the one. Oh, I'm not sure. But I tell you professionally, she's the one that's messed up. You know, Bruce Wayne.
Not the guy running around in a costume dressed, pretending to be a bat. No, no,
No.
no.
Well, she signed an oath, right? It was when she signed up to be a therapist, she undertook training, and her registration requires her to, I think the words are beneficence and non-malfeasance, which means we only do things to benefit clients and we don't do things to hurt clients. So she's breaching all those codes, and I think she's got her own work to do. And I'm not sure that therapy wouldn't work on Bruce Wayne or Seal's Kiss from a Rose. I think therapy is a really good place to help people who are object splitters find a place with a good object, which is the therapist, who can show them unconditional positive regard, who can show them what a healthy relationship looks like, even though it's therapeutic. I think that we can help someone like Bruce Wayne show, we can help him see that there is someone out there who is dependable, who is loyal, who is not going to abandon them, and that is the therapist. And that's my 2 cents.
Two sides of a coin.
two sides of a coin, and the two sides of this 2 cents is that maybe,
Ooh.
you know, there's some healing to do here, and I reckon, yeah, I reckon Seal can be healed by therapy, and Bruce Wayne, should he have a very ethical and boundaried therapist. And that's all I got to say on the matter.
I don't know. If you were Bruce Wayne therapist and you found out he was Batman, you think you'd be able to keep that a secret?
Yes, because therapists keep many secrets. You
True.
know,
This is true.
this is the crux of our job, is that it's
This
all
is
about
true.
privacy and confidentiality. Privacy is, and this is where, you know, whatever her name was, Nicole Kidman's character went wrong.
Ace
Priv-
Meridian.
Chase Meridian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. This is where Ms. Meridian went wrong, is that privacy is someone's right not to disclose information and not to press them to disclose information that they don't want to disclose. That's what privacy is. And confidentiality is keeping that information private, keeping, you know, keeping someone's secrets. That's what therapy is. We are the keeper of secrets. And we don't press people when we know that they're holding something. We just hold as therapists that they're not ready to let it into the room. They don't feel safe enough. You know, maybe relationally they've never been safe enough to be their full authentic selves. Sounds like that was going on for Bruce Wayne and Seal. So, you know, overall, it does look like a love song from the top, and it really could be. It really could be like, you know, I was lonely, I really felt like I wanted to be connected to someone. Now I got connected, and you are, you know, you shone a light on the dark side of me, and that's really lovely. But I think maybe there's something a bit deeper going on there relationally. I think that there's a bit of object splitting happening. I think that we just need to f- help this person find the middle ground in love. And we need to help Bruce Wayne do the same, but with a boundary therapist. That is all.
And look, if you do choose to use a rose as the object, make sure there's no bees in there.
No
You
bees.
don't want to get stung.
We
You don't
we
want to get
don't.
stung.
No, we don't.
I don't want to hear of any stinging incidents,
No, we want-
anaphylaxis incidents.
We don't. I don't know if bees go to roses though. Do roses have like seeds
Have
or
pollen?
pollen? I don't know. I don't know if roses, but look, some kind of bug could be in there. I don't know. Are you Googling that? We need to Google that. Do roses have pollen? Do bees collect that pollen? Don't know. But whatever it is, if there's a bug in there, make sure it doesn't bite you. And if you're kissing that rose, make sure it doesn't impale you with a thorn.
They are attracted to roses, but not as strongly as they are to other flowers like lavenders, sunflowers, daisies.
Right. Okay. Well, make sure there's no bee or bug in there. Don't get bit.
Yeah.
Don't
Yep,
get bit by love.
that's it. Don't get the love bug. Don't let
Yeah,
the love bug bite you.
pretty much. Well, and if it does, just be measured about it. You know, no idealizing. We have to hold that our partners are not our saviors. That
Make sure you have the
they're-
antidote on hand just in case.
Yeah, make sure you got an EpiPen. That's all I can say.
Mm.
For love and bees.
Yeah, that's it. And on that note,
And on that note, great doing business with you, AJ.
always, as always,
Until next time,
Batman.
you're Batman. See you later.
See ya.
On the couch. On the couch.
Thanks for tuning in to Songs on the Couch. We hope you enjoyed putting today's song under the microscope with us.
And hey, the conversation doesn't have to end here. Join us over on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search Songs on the Couch, where we're sharing behind the scene clips, more fun music insights, and of course, chatting with you all.
And if you're an artist, musician, psychologist, counselor, psychotherapist, or know someone who'd love to sit on the couch with us, have your management reach out. We'd love to hear from you at hello@songsonthecouch.com.
Follow us, subscribe, and let's keep rocking out together. Catch you next time on Songs on the Couch.